Oh, thank you all for joining us on this Saturday, February 3rd, 2018. My name is Katrina Houston, and my co-host is Sarah Lawrence. We are two Midwest RDHs, and we are the Molar Report, bringing you and getting you through the daily grind. So, Sarah?
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. We have a very, very cool guest today named Katrina Klein. It might get a little confusing with the two Katrinas, but one is Katrina with a K and one is Katrina with a C. So we're going to go with that today. So we wanted to introduce Katrina today. And first of all, we wanted to thank you for taking the time out of your weekend to be with us. And I know that you're very busy, so we appreciate the time that you're putting aside to come on live with us. So Katrina is a dental hygienist, and she's also a personal trainer, fitness competitor, and founder of ErgoFitLife. So she's a very busy lady, but she has some really good tips to share with us today about physical fitness and the importance of that for the dental professionals, and also ergonomics. So we just wanted to welcome you, and like I said, thank you for joining us today.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm glad to get a moment to talk to you guys about it.
So if you guys are having any trouble hearing any of us, just let us know. You can always feel free to ask some questions, live Q&A, because we are live. I hear a little bit of a muffle, but we'll make it through because, like Sarah and I always say, this is live, and this is what you get with live, and we'll make it through, okay?
Sounds good.
All right, so Katrina, hi.
Hi.
All right, so we know you from Trapped in a Knot, and we've been kind of following your journey as we have with the rest of our tribe. So who is Katrina? We want to know all about you.
Oh my gosh. How much time do we have?
Who's Katrina behind the muscles, all the muscles?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. She's starving right now. I'm a mom. I am a personal trainer. I am a hygienist. I've been a hygienist for 11 years. I've been in dentistry for 20, going on 21. I am now also an ergonomist, which is kind of a weird word to remember how to say correctly. Fitness competitor, adventurer, entrepreneur, you name it. I've probably got my hands in it. So yeah, I do a lot of stuff, keep myself super busy.
Yeah. So why did you get into dentistry?
That is actually a really interesting question. So I had a child very early in life, and one day I noticed she had a little blister above E and F for the pediatric hygienist. And I thought I burned her with food. And I thought, how could I possibly burn her that badly with food? And so, of course, we popped the blister, and it came back a month later. Can you imagine? So I took her to the dentist and thought maybe it was tooth-related, and they said she had an abscess. And I felt this big. I felt like the world's worst mother ever. And that was kind of it. I thought nobody should ever feel this way. And I had no idea that you had to floss baby teeth. So from then on, I observed the hygienist in that pediatric office and decided then and there that that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to help educate people about how to take care of their kids' teeth, and nobody had to feel that way. And that's kind of where I started. I got into, I did receptionist, and I did some assisting. That was kind of fun. And I went to work at Delta Dental while I waited to get into hygiene school, which took forever. And then I've been a hygienist ever since.
Well, that's awesome that feeling like the world's worst mom has led you down such a path, because we've all felt like the world's worst mom. Don't worry.
Yes. And I think that's an awesome story. Like that's really, that literally like gave me goosebumps. I think that's really cool.
You're warm for a month, I'm telling you.
Yeah. Well, that's a cool story. So we do have I'll let Katrina go with the next question, and maybe we'll just go back and forth. All my questions that I wanted to ask were about food, so maybe we should wait.
Right now, so that's good.
That's funny.
It may not be appropriate, so I'll wait a little bit.
All right. So, when were you into fitness prior to getting into dentistry, or when did that come about?
Well, I've always really liked to, do at-home workouts. I like to run. I like all that kind of stuff. I consider myself an ex-cardio bunny. But about 3 years ago is when I got into weightlifting, and I met now my current boyfriend at my very first gym membership, where I actually cried before going into the gym because I did not want to go in there and look embarrassed and feel inadequate and not know what I'm doing, all those fears that we get. And I was forced by the hand to walk in and register for this membership. And I just started going. I met him, and he taught me so much, and I think that always being fairly lean and fit and things like that has always helped me. But now I'm pretty sure that I've grown an inch just from posture and what I've done in the gym. In fact, I'm sure of it because I've always measured myself to get that extra half an inch. When you're 5 foot tall, you need every bit you can get. So, and when I went for my show, they measured me and they said I was 5'1". So I'm certain that's where it came from. So
I believe it.
So yeah, it's been about 3 years. I spent the first year and a half, just learning and working really hard, and then started training for a competition, and I did that. And after the competition last year, I took a little bit of time off to kind of eat and enjoy being happy and kind of eat whatever I want while trying to put on some more muscle for the next competition I have, which is in 12 weeks. So, henceforth, I'm starving. But
will this be your second competition?
This will be my third.
Your third, okay. So yes, Renee asked, you've only been doing this for 3 years.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is awesome. I would love to see your before picture.
Yes.
Post those. Yeah, I was very lean. I didn't really have hardly any muscle. But yeah, I'll post those in ErgoFitLife for you guys. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah. So did it just become kind of an addiction for you?
I wouldn't say addiction, but I definitely use it as a coping skill to a certain extent. If I have a bad day, I know without certainty if I go have a good workout, it's going to help me. That endorphin rush and just really getting a good workout in, it's going to make me feel better. I know it's giving me good results on my body. It's almost like the reverse effect if you have a bad day and go home and have a gallon of ice cream. You go to the gym, and even if you just do some cardio, you get that endorphin rush, and you get a good workout, and you feel better. And it does. I would say I use it kind of as a coping skill sometimes if I have a bad day. But I love it. I love the feel of knowing that I'm doing something that's improving me. I love the feeling of the push. There's too many things.
That's
good. I mean, it's a lot healthier than me wanting a glass of wine after work.
Or me, like a gallon of ice cream. So, Katrina, I want to go back. I want to talk a little bit more about what exactly an ergonomist is, if I said it correctly.
So, an ergonomist.
I didn't say it right.
An ergonomist is someone who goes in and assesses a workspace and makes recommendations to tailor that workspace around the employee, the worker. And that's something that in dentistry they haven't mastered. And you see it all day long in these forums of injured hygienists and people who will say, my neck hurts, my back hurts, my shoulder hurts. I mean, those are your top 3 things right there. And a lot of it has to do with ergonomics. It's your posture. It's your equipment. It's how you're doing things to tailor what you're doing to what you have to do to stay healthy. Because really ergonomics is just a matter of making that workspace prevent injury through a lesser accumulation of injuries. Because let's face it, our workspace is us leaning over, looking into a mouth 16 inches down in front of us and inside and upside down. I mean, we may as well, I'm sure you guys have all seen that picture of that little chick. And that's totally us, right? Whether you're a hygienist, a dentist, or an assistant, you know, I'm helping them all. I've got dentists who work with me. I have an assistant that I'm working with, and a lot of hygienists. So everybody could benefit from learning how to work in a way that doesn't hurt themselves.
Well, even just as a mom, because I will catch myself coming home after a long day of hygiene and I'm brushing my 5-year-old's teeth and I'm like this. I'm like, can you please just like lay down or something so I can brush your teeth?
Yes.
Wait, how many kids do you have, Katrina?
I have 2 kids. I have a 24-year-old and I have a 12-year-old.
Wait, how old was the first one?
24.
24?
Yes.
You have a 24-year-old?
I said I had a child very young. I was 15. So,
oh my God, I need to go get a gym membership because, like.
Me too.
So there is a little bit of benefit to having a child really young in life, and that is that your body bounces back a lot easier than when it did the second time around. I was 28 when I had my second child, so that's a more realistic, you know, perspective on how things should bounce back. So, but also, you know, when you have a child very young, when you're pregnant, you know, you take from your own body and your own growth as an adolescent. You're doing the most growing still. So I might have been taller. I might have been 5'4", you know.
Darn it.
So, I'm okay with it.
So let me ask you a question. I know we've got some moms that are on here that have young kids and say, yeah, it's easy for her to work out because her kids can take care of themselves. Well, one's, you know, 24 years old. What do you say to the mom who her kids have to go everywhere with her? She can't leave them to go to the gym, or she gets home late, she's exhausted, last thing she wants to, and kids have activities. You got to drive them to activities. Yeah. So what do you say to that mom who's like, literally, I just don't have the time because I'm shuffling my kids everywhere?
I would say that first of all, we all get the same 24 hours. So yeah. That's the biggest thing is time. And so you kind of have to make a priority and say, not injuring myself is a bigger priority than going home and spending, you know, half an hour, 45 minutes preparing dinner tonight. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to prepare my meals ahead of time so that I can take my kids with me to the gym that has daycare in it, have them go and have fun in the daycare for an hour while I go do my workout. And there's a lot of them out here. I don't know if you guys have Lifetime there, but that's a really fantastic family-oriented gym that the kids have classes. I mean, they do yoga with the kids. They do, you know, martial arts with the kids. They do dance with the kids. I mean, you can have your kids in an activity that's good for them, which is what we want as moms, right? And then go do your thing. And so everybody wins that way. But if if you're trying to I'm going to go home, I'm going to spend 45 minutes cooking a meal that's healthy because, you know, a lot of the times doing stuff that's healthy takes more time. You can't just stop off at Jack in the Box, right? So it takes more of your time. And then go to the gym and then get the kids in the bathtub. And then it's a matter of logistics and preparation. More than anything else, it's preparation because it can be done. Sunday around my house is the busiest day of the week. And that's because, you know, I've got a 12-year-old, she's a cheerleader, and I'm telling you that is such a huge commitment. I mean, she's in practice multiple days a week. We have competitions on weekends. We have I mean, that kid keeps me running, like more than she ever did as a 4-year-old. And so my solution to that is preparing meals ahead of time, preparing snacks ahead of time, taking care of that kind of stuff. There's also things that you can do with your kids, so you can do cardio with your kids. Go run and play outside with them. Do, a jumping jack contest in the house. Go get on that trampoline. I got a huge 12-foot trampoline out in my backyard. And if she's really wanting some mommy time, which I'm lucky she still does for about 5 more minutes, I'll go run out and jump on the trampoline with her. Go get in the pool. I don't know how many people on here have pools in their backyard. Just living in Maine, you're probably not going to use it right now, but you can do things with the kids. The kids need to see an active lifestyle too, so you can teach that to them, right? I take my daughter with me to the gym, and sometimes she's whiny about it, but she's good for about an hour. Mm-hmm. And even if that means I don't get what I would consider my normal 2-hour workout in or hour-and-a-half workout in, I'm getting in an hour. I'm spending time with my daughter. I'm teaching her good things about how to work out, how to have good form, and it's another quality time thing. Also, there's things that you can do at home. Grab yourself some dumbbells, grab a yoga ball. I customize my workouts for people with their needs, and I will say that a good chunk of people will ask for at-home workouts first. I can do that. I can help you with at-home workouts. Are you going to get the same results as in the gym? Probably not, but you're going to get a whole lot better than if you did nothing. So just dumbbells. There's some at-home equipment that you can get that's fairly inexpensive. By the way, I really don't recommend buying brand new equipment ever. You can buy a treadmill for really cheap on Craigslist.
I like the point that you made about well, crap, now I forgot. No, I like the point that you made that your daughter keeps you busier now than she did before, because we always think the next phase of our life and our kids' life is going to bring us more time, and that's not true. So don't wait to get healthy and in shape, because right now is the time to do it. It's never going to get easier. You're always going to have more problems, and things are going to come up, and time is what you make of it. So that was a great point.
Yeah, it's hard. I know it's hard. I did the same thing myself for years, which is why I didn't get my first gym membership until 3 years ago. I did the same thing. I did all my stuff at home. I mean, I literally had fitness magazines this tall, and I would cut them out and paste them on the back of the door, and I have a huge routine that I did. And, part of that kept me in a really good place, but did it do what it's doing for me now? No. Was I able to, stay fit enough that I don't have back pain? I've never had back pain. I've never had stomach pain. I've never had neck pain. And practicing 11 years in hygiene, 4 days a week, I would think I'd have something by now.
That's amazing.
So what is it? Go ahead, Sarah. Sorry.
I was just going to say two things that I wanted to bring up. I think it's very important, when you're saying everybody has 24 hours in the day, and it's what the priority that the time that you make or what you do at that time. That's exactly what we tell our patients, isn't it? About me in pediatrics, it's like, they're like, I'm rushed in the morning, or I'm too tired at night. And I'm like, well, we all have the same time in the day, if it's a priority or not. So what you're saying to me, as somebody that doesn't put my fitness first, is exactly what I tell the kids. So I think it's the same concept. And like you said, it's just something that we have to make a priority. So I thought that was kind of cool. Mm-hmm. And then, so as far as the ErgoFitLife, your business, do you go to offices as part of a service?
You can do different services that I do. The first thing and the most common thing that people do with me is kind of an individual program. And I put together a custom design workouts for them that are specific to dentistry, or I have clients that are not in the dental field but are at cleaning jobs. So people who sit at a desk, that's a lot of the times the same issue that we have at dentistry, because we're sitting all day long. And so I put together a workout program for them. I have stretch guides to for both daytime use and then like a whole body stretch that you should do every week. I give them ergonomic strategies on how to practice or how to work so that they're not, exasperating that injury potential by what they're doing. Because you can work out all day long, and if you practice badly, it's not going to help you. So at the end of the day, it's the behavior that has to change in order to make all of it work. So I put together ergonomic strategies, and then I also do nutritional guidance. Just because I understand a lot of it really well. So why not throw that in there? Everybody either wants to lose weight or gain muscle or, maintain where they're at, be more toned. So, there's that nutritional aspect to it. So I custom design some food strategies so they can eat efficiently and things like that. And that's all given to people in an online forum with documented information. That they get, and then they go work out on their own, and then they get coaching from me for, any questions they have. And I have found that it's really, really effective because if they have a problem with something, they'll shoot me a video of them doing the exercise, for example, and say, what am I doing wrong here? And I can see it. So it's almost like they've got a trainer in their phone, someone who knows exactly what's going on, exactly what that should feel like, that kind of thing. And then, so that's like the individual service of what I do. I also do in-office assessments in dental offices. So I'll go through and observe people doing what they do. And then I can, give them in-person live corrections and, give recommendations on what they can do to prevent whatever issues they're having, work with the front office on their sitting issues. The dentist, from there, the assistants, anybody. So there's kind of like two parts to it. And then the other thing that I have yet to do, but that's on my 2018 list, is to go into the hygiene school. I want to teach them good ergonomics from the beginning. Our teachers teach us when we're in school, but we're so consumed with learning hygiene and learning perio and understanding which side of the grape does what, that we don't stress that to us. We're so super focused on technique in scaling and understanding the disease process that I think that gets thrown out the window. So we kind of dispose of those really good essential habits that we need early, and when we have like a lot of time, right? And then we get out there and we're consumed by, we need to get this done in 60 minutes. We need to, be on point with our doctor. We need to be able to co-diagnose. And we do so at the expense of our body. And so I think that, if I could get in there early and really stress them, and then throw in that fitness and how, working out your back muscles and learning to sit up straight and using your back to support you and your core to support you rather than your spine. That could be so valuable, and it could help prevent a lot of injuries.
And I feel like another avenue, have you considered going to offices that are looking for, that are getting ready to be built? Our office built a new office about 2 years ago. And how cool would it have been to have somebody like you to help the doctors decide where equipment should go and the ergonomics behind it. So
yeah, that would be wonderful. That's a great idea. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm not sure who I would contact about that, but I'll research it. Somebody.
Yeah.
You know what? You'd probably contact some, work with some dealer reps like Henry Schein, Patterson, because they're the ones that go in there and help offices build the offices.
Oh, okay.
Or even on some Facebook pages, there's a lot of startup dental practice Facebook pages. So start connecting there, and they would see what you were doing, and that would be really cool.
Yeah, thank you. That's a great idea.
So Nancy says, I think it's a great idea to have this taught in hygiene school. So I think that's something that I honestly probably slept through, because at the time I was in hygiene school, most people are young, early 20s. I know there are some exceptions, but you think, I'm going to be young forever. And, it's just it's going to be fine. And this is boring stuff that I won't need till I'm older. And then you get older, and then you get for me, you get heavier, you have kids, you get lazier. And then all of those little accumulations over the hygiene career, my posture hasn't been correct. And then what happens? I have multiple back injuries multiple times a year, and it's horrible. So I think that's important.
Well, there's also another thing that's kind of interesting, and I've just discovered this in the last, couple of months. There's this age range between, say, 20 and 26, where the first smartphones came out for those people, and those people were stuck in their phone like this, with their head tilted forward, more 20 degrees or so, for long periods of time, and those people are getting injured and having spinal surgery and neck surgeries after 4 or 5 years in hygiene, which is kind of, we have a history as hygienists for having problems, 10, 15, 20 years in, but that's really early. And I think that's, I don't have evidence yet to support, longevity studies on that, but I know that, when you're sitting here and you're in this position all day long, that's accumulating injury to ligaments and tendons and vertebrae and all those things. And so we're doing it at work. We've done it in our growth period as adolescents in that age bracket. And so I think that's going to be interesting to see how that can be dealt with, because I'm getting a lot of people complaining of neck issues. They're calling it tech neck, they're calling it digital dementia, all of those things. And the reality is, people are not going to walk around like this with their cell phone. So I'm not sure how that's going to work. I've incorporated a lot of neck stuff into my program, though, because of that. So hopefully I can at least help people get some relief in some way.
Mm-hmm. Well, you're definitely on the road to doing that. It's awesome. That's great.
Yeah.
So let me ask you a question. So for those of us who are not just going to be in shape like next week, what is something that we could be doing right now while we're practicing? Do you recommend standing over sitting, or what's something that we could be doing right now to help us while we're trying to get our course strong?
So those are things that I actually put on my ErgoFitLife page. I would strongly recommend people to, like the page, follow the page, because I give a lot of hints and tips and stuff like that, and that's the ergonomics part of it. So I alternate between standing and sitting every other patient. It's not necessarily good to stand all day, and it's not necessarily good to sit all day. So if you have some variation in your positioning, you're going to change up the stress load on the vertebrae in different ways at different times. And that's essentially going to be a better way to, kind of prevent that injury, is to not have static, tonic, the same positioning all day long. So obviously sitting upright, if you imagine that someone tied a string to your spine, and they pulled that string through your sternum like a puppet. There you go. I hate to say it like this, but stick the ladies out, I
don't have a problem with that part.
Take a breath in, that automatically happens, right?
That popped my back.
So I tell people,
just sitting there, that is really bad, Sarah. I'm with you too.
It's funny though. So you can do that. You can take a deep breath in, get your spine upward, keep your elbows down.
Yes.
Like that. You're not a chicken. You're a hygienist.
Last week, because I saw your post all week. Last week I was going, "You're not a chicken, Katrina. Come on, keep your." Because I'm the worst with. I'm like this all the time. And first patient Monday morning, I was already feeling it here, and I was like, "Oh my God, I'm not going to make it through this week." Thank God it's only 2 days.
Right? Yeah. Well, when you do this, you're abducting away from your body, so you keep the shoulder muscle here, and you get that, and it's right this muscle right here. Okay.
No,
I've never seen that on me before. Show me.
Yeah, I don't have that muscle. I was born without it.
Everybody has it. Like I said, I'm just hungry right now, so that's why you can see it. But so it's that one's floating, and you sit there like that all day, for 15 minutes or whatever at a time, and you're sitting there static, right? So if you put that down, and the way to put it down is just to pull it back and down, put that elbow in, put that patient either a little lower, and that's usually it, is we want to have them up in our face because we can't see. So get loops, wear loops, that's important. And that way you can have them a little further down, and therefore you don't have to have your arm like this. If you wear your shoulders like earrings, then you're going to get these big hairy man traps here, which is not cute, and they hurt. So keep your posture down. Stand up straight. Make the patient move to you. We all know they're there for your pedo, 30 minutes, 20 minutes. An adult, hopefully if you work not in corporate dentistry, you're seeing people for an hour. Make them move. I have people just take your finger and just say, okay, I'm going to have you look way up, and then just move their face up. The reason why patients don't move enough a lot of the times is because they don't know how far we need them to move. So if you're moving them up, then they're getting a gauge for how far you need them. And they'll just keep going until you stop them a lot of the time. And then I'll keep my finger there on the lingual of 8 and 9 or 8 and move them to me and say, okay, and turn towards me. So then I've trained them right then and there. This is how far they need to move up and how far they need to move their head towards me. So when I say, okay, look away, they're going to move to that same amount of space in the other direction. And if they don't go, I tell them, keep going, keep turning, because I'm making my workspace work for me. Mm-hmm. I'm there all day long.
We have TVs for the kids, so they're always distracted. They'll be good for a couple seconds, and then they're like zoned out, and their mouth's like, they're like, no, come back here, So
but adults are the same way. We have TVs too, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to need you to turn towards me.
And turn
towards me.
Wait.
Will you look at me? Okay, just look at me. Okay.
Yes. Okay. It's turned towards me.
Yeah. Don't mind me. Don't mind me at all.
I'm telling you, the gloved finger on 8 and 9 is just move them. They'll move. And
now there's some like the geriatric patients. Like I have one who, like literally, she can't move her neck. She can't at all. So that is one where I stand, and she can't move her neck, nor can she lay back.
Of course not. Yeah. And she probably can't open her mouth either, right? No range of motion.
Yeah. And it's funny because it's like all of those patients seem to be on the same day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So the last thing I want is to think about going to the gym. I'm fantasizing all day long about popping that cork. Don't follow me. I have bad habits.
Not judging at all. And actually, they say wine is good for the heart, right? Like one glass, something like that. I don't know. I don't like it.
That's what they say.
Yeah, but I would say.
And if one glass is good,
two must be better.
The bottle has to be awesome.
No, not so much. No, we're gonna have those occasional people. You're gonna have those people that are in a wheelchair or are they cannot move. Your geriatric patient. Make it a point to not schedule them on the same day if you can. But the reality is, you're gonna do that every once in a while. Every once in a while, you're gonna have somebody that you have to be the chicken. Looking upside down. But if one of your patients in a week is like that, then and you were doing that for every patient before, you're accumulating less damage. Mm-hmm. So I would say damage control is really the key. Using indirect vision, I think, is something that so many of us forget. We just get going. We're just in a hurry. We've got so much time. We've got to get this done. We've got to get to the lingual of 15. And so look in your mirror. What I tell people all the time, it's those double-sided mirrors. And I never really understood the benefit of those until I had a doctor that already had them. And so I started using them, and I was like, whoa, and it's me being lazy is what it is, because I could just turn my mirror around. but I don't have time for that. So getting a double-sided mirror and having that already there, no matter what angle you're in, you've got a view. You've got a view. Look in that mirror. Don't be tempted by looking directly at it, and that might help. So.
And Patricia Blendon, I think's her last name, that has the suction attached to the mirror. Yeah, that would be a cool thing too. That should help. But I do find that, talking about like special needs patients or people that are in wheelchairs working in the kids setting, I do feel like those caregivers that come with them are so willing to help. I had a patient the other day that was in a wheelchair, didn't have any ability to move his head or anything. And the dad was so helpful. He held the bite stick. He held the gauze. He was transferring me stuff. And I said, really, you don't have to do this. He's like, no, I want to make it easier for you. So I think that, in the case that I have some help, but not everybody does. But parents are always willing to help, accommodate us. So I think that's really helpful to take advantage of that if they're willing to do that.
Yeah, you got a built-in assistant.
I know, that's what I said. I'm like, are you on payroll or what? Because he was helping so much. Yeah. But I think another thing that we do, or I do as a hygienist, is I just think, I'll just do it this one time, and then I do it. And then like the next time, just for a second, I can't see, just for a second. And then like at the end of the day, it's like, how many times have I done that? And what accumulation have I put on my body? So I think we're just kind of like you said, we're just ready to get it done. And we're like, oh, whatever, it's not a big deal. But time after time after time, it becomes a big deal.
Right. Well, and it's kind of like what you were saying before about when we're in hygiene school or we're first starting, we don't feel those injuries. We're invincible then. And our body is more invincible when you're 20, 25 years old and you're just starting. So you get into those bad muscle patterns. And you don't feel it until later. And then same with now you're practicing, you make that bad, you put out the chicken wing. The first time it doesn't hurt. By the end of the day, you're done. You're toast. So something that I do when I'm practicing, still, even though I have really good ergonomics and I do all the stuff I'm supposed to do, is every time I put a new instrument in the mouth, I reset my shoulders. I put my elbows down and then I proceed. And taking that time, it's a physical cue for me to reposition myself. If I'm going to polish now, I'm going to reset my shoulders, I'm going to sit up straight again. And it's kind of like, okay, I'm doing something new, reset. Doing something new, reset. And I think that if you can keep that reset button going, then you're less likely to already be in a compromised, hunched over position. And then on top of that, doing something you're not supposed to do. You're less likely to make those chicken wings because you're setting.
Yeah. Do you care if I ask you one more positioning question? I feel like I'm asking way too many. I think about you all the time because when I have a patient, I lean them back, but I like to have both my legs together and I like to have it underneath the chair. I don't like to have my legs open. So when I'm sitting there trying to get that neutral position, I lay the patient back, but I can't see them because they're still, how am I trying to say? I can't lay them back far enough because my legs are under the chair.
Right.
So is it better for me to be a little higher with their head or do I need to open my legs or what do I do?
I have a tendency to do that same thing. What I do is I will, if it's a larger patient, I'll stand for those people because I know that there's no way that I can get the chair low enough to get both of my legs underneath there.
Yes.
And be able to get them low enough to practice. If it's somebody who's smaller or a child, it's much easier because there's not a lot of space between your working space and the top of your legs. Mm-hmm. The other thing to remember is it's important to keep your feet flat on the ground because otherwise you get that hygiene hip where we lean like this all day long, and then we have issues with our hips. Mm-hmm. So, having your feet flat on the ground. I mean, yes, ideally we're supposed to have our legs spread apart. I've never personally been really comfortable with that either, so I totally understand your struggle.
Feels weird.
So, it's a personal space thing for me. It's just kind of like, I'm already in their face. Do I have to,
You guys are making me feel bad because I am like spread eagle. Just don't even care.
You're benefiting from that, though. the way that I do it, the way that Sarah does it, is not helpful at all. And then there are times when I just have to be like, whatever. Sorry, I know you don't know I'm spreading my legs, but that's just the way it is. But yeah, if it's a person that's taller or bigger, because their face is going to be deeper, just stand for those people.
Okay, good tips.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, Sarah. So So Katrina, what's going on with you? What are your goals? Like, what do you plan on doing within the next 1 to 5 years?
Well, a lot of it is with the ErgoFitLife. I don't think I'll ever stop practicing clinical because I love it so much. There's something that's so gratifying about what we do that I don't see myself ever giving that up completely. But I want to work with individual offices, do more assessments and help people on site and in person. I want to get into the hygiene schools and teach them and do some public speaking, get some information out there to people on a larger scale so they can understand how strengthening up your back, your core, your shoulders, your glutes, believe it or not. I mean, I've posted this before. It's not just a pretty muscle. It helps with your posture. So, all these things, the body it needs to be balanced, and dentistry is so important when you're seeing good posture. And so getting that out there on a larger scale is really important to me because I hate to see all these people that they're unnecessarily in pain. They can't practice something that they love. And I know that love. And so if someone told me today I couldn't practice hygiene anymore, I would be devastated. I could go be a personal trainer right now. I could quit hygiene, go be a trainer, go, do fitness coaching, full time, whatever. But I love hygiene. I love working with people. I love impacting people with their health and, that. So I understand what we go through. I understand why someone would want to continue doing this for 10, 20, 30 years, whatever. Mm-hmm. So if I can extend people's careers, make it so that when they retire, they can still walk and they can sit on the floor and play with their kids when they're practicing. They don't have to have spinal fusions and, have all the full surgeries. I mean, so many surgeries. I can't tell you how many x-rays and the health history reports I get from my clients when they sign up with me is incredible. I knew we were troubled before, but I had no idea how bad it was now, or like I do now. So I just want to help people. That's all.
Do you feel like you've always kind of known, because a part of what we talk about here is like finding your passion, personal and professional development. That's hard for some people, including myself. It's sometimes just like you don't know which way to turn and you just get bombarded by, I don't know what my passion is. Do you feel like that was hard for you, or did you kind of just know from a long time ago that this was your passion?
Well, I think that the educator in me that shows in hygiene, I love to teach people. I love to help people. And so I think that's always been kind of my why. And the more that I grew to love fitness, and realize that a good portion of why I'm not in pain is because of my fitness, I think that became evident to me in how I could impact people. And then I had the worst thing, well, it wasn't the worst thing in my life, but certainly the worst thing career-wise. Last March, I was fired for the first time ever from a job. And I was devastated. I mean, it was completely for no reason. And I didn't deserve it. And I was ready to completely abandon hygiene. And I had lost my faith in dentists and, all of it. And I was trying to think of what else could I do, just like in the trap groups, that's how I found trap. And I was like, what else could I do? I could go be a trainer, I could do this, I could do that. But I still love hygiene. And so I was kind of in that place of what do I do? How do I do it? How do I make money? Because the reality is you need to make money. you have to live. The mortgage company doesn't say, oh, that's really cute, you're doing something you're passionate about. You know, they want their money. And so I was forced with, you know, do you go back to work and try and find another hygiene position that you take another risk at being treated poorly or something. And I knew that fitness had to be part of whatever I did. And so I talked to Jamie Dooley in 30 Day Manifesto, and which she hadn't had at that time. But I just talked to her and I'm like, I want to help hygienists. I want to help them, and I don't know how to do it, and I'm not sure how to make this work. And so just through one 20-minute conversation, you know, and her telling me, you could do this, you have a vision, you already know what you want to do. I mean, you're just wanting me to tell you that you can. And that was kind of it. It was like, she's right, I can do this. I can do this. I know what I'm talking about. I've got years of ergonomics training. I know fitness, I know biomechanics, and I know hygiene. I know dentistry.
Mm-hmm.
And so finding my why, it was less of finding the why than it was to learn that my why was something that people would believe in.
Mm-hmm.
You know, people would want. Like, who would want to hear from me? I'm just a girl from Sacramento, California. You know, I'm just a girl, you know. And so that validation in what I was doing and the fact that people need it is when I decided to stop saying someday.
Mm-hmm.
And deciding to take a move. And I made a plan and I set goals. And I just did one thing at a time. I mean, I had my Facebook page ready to launch for like 2 months before I ever was brave enough to hit publish. I was terrified because, oh my gosh, what if somebody actually asks me a question?
Yeah. That publishing thing, that button is kind of hard to push.
It is. It's terrifying. Because what if somebody says, oh, you suck?
Mm-hmm.
You know, or that's a pointless product, or what you're doing, you know. Oh, and you know, this is another thing that I've learned, and it's been almost a year. There's gonna be naysayers. There's gonna be people that don't listen, and there's gonna be a lot of people that will say that there's an alternative solution to what you're doing that's better than what you're doing. And there's going to be competition, and there's going to be competition with a lot of degrees, and there's going to be bullying, you know, because the competition doesn't want you to invade their space. Mm-hmm. And there's going to be cliques, and there's going to be, it's all hurdles, but at the end of the day, you have to believe that what you're doing, and that's why I've continued this. I know what I'm doing will help people. I know.
Well, that's what matters, is that you believe in it, because there's one, if there's competition, that means there's a market for it.
Yeah.
And there are other people that are out there doing it, but not you. And people might not be able to relate from those other people, but they can relate from you. Like Patricia with the clip mirror. She had people who said, you know, that's the dumbest idea. Okay, all right. What are you doing? Mm-hmm. What you're doing with yourself, because I don't care what people are saying who aren't doing anything, who are sitting on the sidelines just telling everybody what's dumb.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care. I want to hear.
That takes no effort.
No effort. So she went out there. It's not going to be for everybody, but some people love that thing. I mean, Benko picked it up. People love what you're doing. Not everybody's going to love it. Who cares? Not everybody loves what Sarah and I do, but we have a good time. So.
Well, I was really nervous, but I'm not now.
Yeah, this is very important stuff. I mean, this is my favorite part of not just in general of interviews, is when we get to the part like, what was your barrier and like, how did you get through that? You know, because I think so many people are scared, just like me. You know, I think we have all been there. I met Jasmine Haley last week. She is amazing, and she did exactly what Jamie did for you. I was telling her some ideas that I had, and she goes, yeah, they're great. So what are you waiting for? Validation? And I'm like, yes. And she just gave me permission to she just verified that it was a good idea and that I should do it. And that's sometimes all we need is just like that validation, like, yeah, that's great, do it, you know? But you're just waiting for somebody to like cheer you on or to tell you like, yeah, like this is a good idea, just do it. So same thing. It's not like this huge process that you have to go through. You're just looking for somebody to just push you over the edge a little bit.
The only thing holding you back from your dreams are your self-limiting beliefs. It's only in our heads. So keep doing it, ladies.
Honestly, I think about it a lot like I do with fitness. For a long time I used to say, I wish I could this, I wish I could do that, I wish I could do this. And then if you apply that universally, well, that's what I do with my clients. And they always say, oh, I wish I could be fit. I wish I could, make time. I wish I could, have good posture. I wish I could practice ergonomics. Oh, thank you, Carla.
Thanks, Carla.
And at the end of the day, you can't wish for something. You have to work for it. You have to do it. You have to take the action. You have to do the baby steps that it takes, or big steps, or however many kind of steps you want. But you have to put one foot in front of the other and just say, I'm not going to wish for it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to take myself. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to do it. I'm going to walk in there.
You have to have goals, and you have to write down those goals, because goals, without writing them down, they're just wishes, they're fantasies. So you have to make a plan. If you want to get fit, go get a membership, or go buy some DVDs, or call Katrina Klein.
Yes.
You have to make
together a workout for a friend of mine that just had a baby, and it was just all exercises to do with your baby. You got a 10-pound weight sitting there. Use it. You didn't have to go to the gym. I mean,
until they puke on you.
They're fat, and hopefully, when they get a little bigger, 2 years old, or you can do a lot of cool stuff with little kids. Let me tell you. And it's just about getting creative and finding ways to do things. It's not always going to be ideal, but life isn't always ideal. But doing something is better than doing nothing, and that's one thing I tell all of my clients. I check in with them once or twice every single week. How's it going? Are you doing your stretches? I know what's going on in their lives, so it's a little easier for me to say, okay, how did this go? How were you able to get some stretches in there? Did you take your foam roller when you went and did your presentation? Whatever. And, they feel bad. And I think that guilt when they don't do what they know they're supposed to do takes over, and then it prevents them from taking further action. I didn't go to the gym today, and then going back is hard. So I tell them something is better than nothing. Did you stretch? Yes. Stretching is better than not stretching, right? Yes. So do it. And that, I think that in the same way that Jamie kind of helped to validate my belief, the way that Jasmine helped to validate your belief or your thoughts, the coaching that I provide is just telling these people, I know you can do this. I believe in you. You can do this. So what? You screwed up last week. Come back this week.
Yeah.
Make it happen this week. If you have a stair mill, I say stair mill, I'm looking at my cardio equipment now. If you have stuff in the house to use, do it at home, but do something. Something is going to help you. And then, really and truly knowing the right exercises to do for ergonomics and for dentistry and for sitting jobs and all that stuff is going to be more beneficial. Using a gym is going to be even more beneficial. Having an on-site trainer is going to be even more. I mean, there's steps and gradations to how you can do things to help yourself, but it all starts with looking at it.
Okay. Do you have a couple more minutes, Katrina? Because sure. I want to talk about food. I want to know how you get, I can do all those great things. I can go exercise and I can do all that, but I get hungry and I don't know how to control that sometimes. Sometimes it's like, I'll just run an extra mile later, and I just eat. But I mean, honestly, like I think there is, I don't know. Sometimes it's just hard to, emotional eating is a real thing. So I know that's part of it. But how do you personally, like if you see something that you want, like whether it's a dessert or chips or whatever, and how do you tell yourself no, or do you just kind of indulge a little bit, or do you not crave those things?
Oh my gosh, I crave everything. I have a love affair with food, so know that. I may be very lean right now, but and genetically I'm a lean person, so there's also that. Everybody has different body types. But I have a very firm grasp of reality when it comes to knowing this fact. You cannot outrun the force.
Mm-hmm.
You can't do it. So you can say, I'm going to go do an extra mile tomorrow or today or whatever. And that mile is going to burn you, depending on how fast and how slow and whatever.
Yeah.
You burn 100 calories. Well, what is that on your 300 calorie candy bar you just had? That's nothing. You can't. So I understand that, and I understand the consequences. So there's discipline. Last night I was starving. I was so hungry, and I had already met my calories. I had already gotten to my calories for the day, and I know I can't have any more, so I drank water.
Wow.
I was like, okay, I'm going to drink water. It's willpower. It's knowing that if I want the results, I have to have a follow through.
Is that because you're preparing for your competition, or are you always like that? Like you always limit your calories?
No. The calorie thing is for my competition. Yeah, I don't normally have to do as much as far as calorie control is as some people. I'm really grateful for that, but on a regular basis, though, I do have to watch what I eat. I'm going to be 40 in a matter of like 3 months. I don't respond to things like I did when I was 20. Nutrition is huge for me. But I do things like I've learned how to supplement some things that I eat for other things. I learned how to eat healthier, make good healthy choices right now. Sugar-free chocolate Jell-O pudding is absolutely my favorite.
Yes.
Throw some protein powder in there, and it is like just yumminess in a cup. But here's what I do. I have a half cup of that. I don't eat the entire bowl of Jell-O.
So you practice portion control, which is something I'm not familiar with.
Okay, but that's really common, right? Okay, my sweetie is that way. He cannot, we'll buy a box of those Skinny Cow ice creams, and that thing is gone in 24 hours. I'm not kidding.
So, when he eats it all, then it's not there the next day.
Yes, that's exactly it. We go to the store once a week. That's what we do. We don't go more afterwards. You don't stop at the store and get more ice cream because you're out. What is Renee saying? Any protein supplements? Protein is good. We're going to start right there. You need protein. If you want muscles to grow, you need protein. And your body likes muscles to grow, and will help you with preventing osteoporosis. So do that.
And is there any certain protein supplements that you recommend?
Okay, so when it comes to protein, I like whey isolate. You get more of the protein and less of the calories that way. You can try the vegetarian or the vegan ones if you want to. There's a lot of them out there. I personally don't like the flavor of them, so for me it's a matter of palatability. I've tried a few different ones. I will tell you that there is no magic shake. There is no, if somebody's going to say, here's a meal supplement for you, drink this 3 times a day, we're going to charge you $1 gazillion for it. You can do that with food. Okay, you don't have to have any particular brand. That's why I'm not selling products. I've been approached by more supplement places than I can tell you. I mean, from Beachbody all the way through. And I appreciate the options to have that, but I feel like if I'm recommending any particular brand of protein, then I would lose my credibility because I don't believe it's a brand issue, it's a type issue. Just get some protein in there. Isolate is going to be really good for you. Some people have gluten issues, so go to a vegetarian one. Whatever. But make sure that you're getting good protein. That you're eating every 3 to 4 hours, small meals. And food prepping helps a lot with that. We're doing a food prep February in ErgoFitLife right now. So I would encourage everyone to join that if you have food control issues, if you have, a hard time getting creative which is me. I do not have food sense. You know, some people walk in the kitchen and they can take 5 tiny ingredients and make like an amazing meal out of it. I don't have that. So I need Pinterest. I need my sweetie who has food sense. And so, you know, getting information from other people who are putting their recipes out there, their healthy recipes, and food prepping for the week is a fantastic way to prevent, you know, going and stopping a Jack in the Box. Or, oh man, doctor ran me over today, so now I only get a 40-minute lunch. I don't have time to, you know, X, Y, Z. I have to go it fast. You know, if you bring your lunch to work with you, you can heat it up right there, or you can eat it right there. So food prep, I think, has got to be one of the most valuable things that people do. There's a lot of food prep companies out there now too, and they include the calories and the nutritional information too. So once you know what you're supposed to be getting in, you can order exactly what you want and what you like. I don't recommend doing anything, you know, crazy or drastic. And sometimes what I'll tell my people that have, you know, eating issues, you know, as far as like, Sarah, if you were my client, I would tell you, fix one meal. Don't worry about the rest of them. Start with one meal. Get that one meal right. You know, make it a great, you know, recipe, a great combination, perfectly healthy. Stick to that. Do that for a few weeks. And then work on the next meal. You know, maybe start with breakfast and then work on lunch to make lunch healthier. And make it a part of your life, just like we do with patients and flossing and brushing. You know, somebody comes in the chair and they don't do anything. You're like, okay, we're not going to have a huge flossing conversation because you're not even brushing yet, right? So it's the same thing. You start where you're at and tackle one thing at a time. Make it part of your life. Make it part of your habit. And then adding that extra factor in there doesn't feel like, oh my God, I've had one piece of celery in 3 weeks. Because that's not going to work. You're gonna crash, and you're gonna go right back to Ben and Jerry.
Yes. Very cool. So Katrina with the C, did we have any other questions that we wanted to ask her?
I don't think so. Just give us your email and do you have a website, any information, so if anybody wants to reach out to you, they'd be able to have that.
Yeah.
So I do have a website. It's www.ErgoFitLife.com. Very simple. My email address is ErgoFitLife@gmail. And I have Facebook group and page, which is ErgoFitLife. Hey, Anne, thank you.
Thank you, Anne.
That's wonderful. Anne is, she has such a huge wealth of information for so many of us. Especially when it comes to like the equipment part of it. I've learned a lot from her CEAS and you know, her articles that she's posted about equipment, because I don't personally use a saddle chair, so I knew nothing really about them other than the one I tried when they brought them out together on hygiene school. Did it fit me? Because I'm the kind of person that bought this ginormous chair. But I've since then recommended them to a lot of people, and they're feeling better. So she's great. Anyway, yeah, so the ErgoFitLife Facebook page and group. If you're in the group, you know, I really encourage participation and encouragement for each other, because we're stronger in numbers. You know, it's a lot easier if you've got a team behind you, a tribe behind you, just like in our class group, to support each other and say, hey, it's okay, you fell off the wagon this week, let's do it next week. Or with the cardio challenge, I wanted to put it in the ErgoFitLife main group, but I thought everybody would get like a gazillion notifications a day, so I didn't. But you know, I had 29 people participating in that. Wow, that's 29 people that weren't moving before. 29 people that, you know, got healthier, lost dementia, lost some pounds, felt better, sleeping better, the whole nine. You know, I feel like I'm impacting lives that way.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so join us on ErgoFitLife.
Well, Katrina, thanks so much for spending your morning with us. We know you had to kind of get to, up and ready a little bit earlier than we did, since you're on the West Coast, right? Yeah. Okay. I'm like in my head going northeast, southwest.
Yes.
All right. So, Sarah?
I really appreciate the opportunity to talk to you ladies and share what I do and And of course, if anybody has questions, really contact me. I love to help.
And you mentioned speaking. I can tell you're going to be an amazing speaker. So, yeah, you have very good, your presentation skills have been awesome. You're well-spoken, organized, passionate. You're going to do great. So don't forget to pursue that because you will do great at that.
Oh, I appreciate that so much. I am so nervous to do that. On a one-on-one basis in the operatory, I'm in my element. In the gym, I'm in my element, but in front of a large group of people.
So little by little, though, remember? Little by little. Do a small group first and then build your way up. I'm going to practice what I preach here, too, so don't think I'm not nervous, too, but little by little.
Well, this is the first step, so I feel good now.
Yeah, you did great. Like Katrina said, we really appreciate this. This was awesome, and I think it's going to help a lot of people. And maybe they can implement some of these small changes into their daily life. And like Katrina said, we'll write some stuff up, some notes, and include some of your links and websites. And they can do you prefer they contact you one way versus another, or does it matter?
Even through Messenger, anything, it doesn't matter. I check it all. I contact all my clients via text once we're established. So, my phone's always good.
And just so people know, you do a lot of most of your stuff is done virtually. So they don't have to live by you or be close to you. It's all virtual.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. I would say that probably 90% of my clients are, people that are from across the nation. I've got several here by me that are friends and colleagues. Most of them are online. You can take the information and run with it and get great results on your own just with coaching. Is it going to be as beneficial as it would be if I was there in person training you? Probably not. But again, something's better than nothing.
Exactly. Well, thank you. We appreciate it. And people will play back the message or the video, people that didn't view it live, and they might have some other questions then too. So feel free to look through the comments and reply if you'd like. And if not, they can contact you through one of the links that we're going to put up. So thank you very much. And we appreciate you taking the time out of your day. And it was nice to finally get to see you computer to computer, however you want to say it. But I've seen you and we've chatted up through Messenger, so that was really cool to be able to connect with you. So
yeah, you too. Thank you both. I appreciate it.
Thanks a lot, Katrina. Talk to you soon. Have a good weekend.
You too.
Okay, bye. Guys.